Yo, tell me I don't look like a revolutionary Cuban with this green shirt on.
Fuck no!
Bad choice of wardrobe, but here we are.
Yes, definitely.
In today's video, I'm gonna be putting you on to 5 of my favorite fragrances from this masterpiece underrated house that I absolutely love. I don't know how many times I've glazed a couple of these fragrances, but they got some bangers. But here's the twist. The twist is that we're in the month of November, and what happens in November? Deals upon deals, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Everybody's trying to get the fire for the low. And allegedly, some of these joints are gonna be at a discounted price, which they rarely are. I said discounted. So let's roll my music so I can take you on a journey introducing you to the House of 𝗏. Listen, one of my beautiful peoples, you know who it is. It's your boy, 𝐷_𝑢_𝐵. Shout out to the House of 𝗏 for not only putting out this first fragrance, but allowing y'all to save a little bit of bread in the month of November. Again, we want to save bread. End of the year, approaching the holidays. Either you want to give something to somebody else, or in actuality, give something to the most important person in your life, yourself. Yeah, I'm greedy. So if you're unfamiliar with the House of 𝗏, let me give you a brief synopsis or breakdown of what I feel about the House of 𝗏. Wildly underrated niche house that is known for doing incredible freshy fragrances that blow my nuts back. But that's no longer the case. Now they're tapping into bolder, darker, riskier scent profiles, which I absolutely respect because they've been hitting the nail on the head consistently. For example, if Uncle Cuba was a billionaire astronaut, I had to take whiskey with me to the skies, and it would have to be with Cosmos, Bobby. Now let me just give you a little interlude. The caps on the House of 𝗏 fragrances are actual stone. Each cap is going to be completely different to the other one, so you're going to have kind of your own, whether it be wood or stone variant that is unlike anybody else. You can buy 2 bottles and they're both going to be completely different. But let's tap into Cosmos real quick, which is one of their latest releases and absolutely blew my doors off. This is a projection and Udi beast that is beyond wearable and still keeps mild elements of the House of 𝗏 DNA, which is a crazy freshie. Now Cosmos, it's metallic yet powdery, still has elements of fresh, but there's this gorgeous minerality to this fragrance that really gives it this deep, rich sensuality about it that gives you billionaire playboy energy. There's aspects of this fragrance that feels like you just poured whiskey over like a burnt steel rod, and you get this aged, smoky, metallic-y, boozy undertone that is fucking sexy. Performance on this fragrance off of my skin is hovering around 8 to 9 hours. This is no slouch on performance, and this is definitely mass appealing with a little bit of a risk. Like when you buy a fragrance that's of this caliber, you want to take a little bit of ballsy risk. Like you don't want to fall into the lineup of every other same fuckboy DNAs. You want something a little bit different, unusual, risky, ballsy, and in some way defies the laws of gravity and sensuality mixed. With Cosmos, they did not drop the ball at all, and a lot of people who have gotten their nose on this fragrance share the same sentiment. Cosmos is absolutely remarkable and is clearly in the top 5 favorite House of 𝗏 fragrances. So if you haven't tried Cosmos, I highly encourage you to step outside of your comfort zone. Next one, this is a spiritual awakening because it's called Espíritu. Vintage leather jacket with a holy experience. This fragrance is like walking into your OG's closet, right? He has like a couple of leather jackets that have been sitting there since 1983. And in each pocket of the leather jacket, there's old money, small head $100 bills. It's a combination of like leather, old money, new money, Park Avenue elegance, sprinkled in with a vintage Rolls Royce. Tobacco-y, boozy, leather, powdery. This is absolutely fucking remarkable. I love how this fucking fragrance smells, and the reality is that there's an extreme amount of versatility in this scent profile that won't stray you away and make you feel too risky, right? Like there's still a beautiful leathery tone that doesn't remind you of any other designer or even niche fragrance. Honestly, there's nothing in my repertoire that can kind of speak to this kind of DNA. There's a vintage energy about this scent profile, but it isn't dated. Like everything else in life or even in fashion, things come in full circle. This has that timeless, gentlemanly, swaggy, like the double-breasted suit has been around forever, right? And motherfuckers like myself are still rocking it. Vintage leather jackets. You'd rather go to Old Navy, Salvation Army, or one of these thrift shops to buy it because you want that worn in, broken in leather because it has a ton of character. This fragrance is that. A ton of character of somebody who had a lot of money that just died or just donated all the shit that he didn't want. One man's trash was another man's treasure, but that fucking treasure was designer. House of 𝗏 𝗕𝗂𝗏, it's pretty much telling you to step your money up. Now with this next fragrance, if you watch my channel on a consistent basis, I apologize in advance, but you've heard about this fragrance numerous times, especially talking about freshy or warm weather fragrances. House of 𝗏's 𝗙𝗂𝗏 𝗕𝗂𝗏. 𝗙𝗂𝗏 𝗕𝗂𝗏 is one of the craziest fucking freshies that you can get. One of my first loves in the House of 𝗏 and does freshy like no other. Good Lord help me, sweet baby Jesus. I don't even want to talk too much about 𝗙𝗂𝗏 𝗕𝗂𝗏 because there isn't something that I'm going to say here that I haven't said in the past. One of the most incredible watery, dewy, green, herbaceous DNAs in fragrance, period. It's green. It's tea-ish. I feel like it has little ginger slivers in here as well. It's airy, but it also has this icy cooling sensation about this fragrance that is so addictive when you wear this joint. And for a freshie, it's got a solid amount of performance off of my skin. Most freshies kind of lackluster when it comes to, you know, hot weather, or it just becomes a little bit challenging. This is also like warm weather, money, yacht party, boat, dockers, nut huggers. It's just fucking unbelievable. I mean, when I love a fragrance, I just love a fragrance. When it speaks to me, when it speaks to my character, when it speaks to my DNA, I'm just kind of obsessive. I mean, I've been like that with a couple of fragrances if you watch my shit. This is definitely one of the go-to staple pieces in the summertime that I have to reach for at bare minimum once the summer starts. Spring, summer, fresh, mineralic tea, airy, with a little bit of a foundational ambery base. 𝗙𝗏𝗏 𝗕𝗂𝗏, if you're gonna go for an entry point and you don't want to get too aggressive, but you want to smell absolutely delectable, I mean, I don't even want to talk about this shit. I'm having a moment. Now, this next fragrance is not going to be for everybody. Full disclosure, you gotta be into cannabis or hempy notes. I love a cannabis note. If it's done well and it has the right amount of green skankiness, a little bit of funk, but just speaks to me. And I don't know why. It's not like I'd be smoking or anything, but that fragrance is Oro Verde by House of 𝗏, aka green gold. And if it was 1994, this shit was green gold because I was trying to make as much money as possible off a pack. Imagine mixing like weed and watermelon. You go to the bodega or the corner store and you know those plasticky containers with a suspect label on it, it's like fresh watermelon juice. So imagine you just smoked the L, cracked open that fresh watermelon juice, and that watermelon juice just happens to be sitting around the produce section. So you're smelling basil, crisp greens, you cracked open the watermelon juice, you smelled it, but your breath still smells like the joint, like that purple haze, that mango piña. Just as an example, that's what this fragrance smells like. You cracked open a bodega watermelon juice in a plastic container around the produce section after smoking a blunt. You're welcome. It is not super cannabis-y because there's a mild sweetness in here, but it does have that cannabis, green, earthy, almost vetiver-like kind of vibe. And now come to think of it, like what I'm smelling it here, and I don't remember what I first said about this fragrance when I initially spoke about it. There's also a metallic vibe in here. Almost smells like a little bit of a wet nickel-ish kind of vibe. All right, so here's the synopsis. I'm gonna paint the fucking picture for you very easily. Walk into the bodega. In the produce section, in the ice chest, plastic bottle with suspect label watermelon juice. All the herbs, including basil, are being freshly sprayed by the little machine that hydrates all the greenery in the bodega, right? While picking up the watermelon juice, your hand gets wet and dewy. You crack that shit open before paying it. You take a couple of sips and you walk to the register. Your hands are wet, so the dude starts giving you change, like metallic change in your hand, and you still have that wet nickelish kind of smell in your hands. Mixing that in with that watermelon juice, a little bit of that basil vibe, hot breath of haze. That's what you're getting in Oro Verde. Completely different than anything else in your stash, and absolutely incredible. Definitely in my top 5, clearly. God, that description was good. And narrowing down the list with the last fragrance, if Cosmos was like a billionaire astronaut motherfucker, then this is a dude who owns a swingers club. And that's House of 𝗏's Infinite Oud. Smell of gold, light oud, a little bit of a incense, myrrhish kind of DNA, wildly elegant, has a bit of a tuxedo dressed up gentlemanly type energy. There's no funk and animalic edges on this fragrance, and is very sensual and erotic, mysterious yet deep, alluring and addictive. I don't know, Infinite Oud has this element of like, I shut shit down when I walk into a room. There's a bouginess to this fragrance that I respect. There's a cockiness about this fragrance. Like, I know the type of energy that I exude. I know the confident level that I walk in with. I am so sure that when I drop my pants, somebody will go, ah, damn. You know, that kind of confidence? Like, I don't know it personally at all, ever in life. But, you know, I would hope. You know what I'm saying. I got problems. Myrrh, incense, still fresh, also slightly green, with a little bit of a balsamic peppery kind of energy. Now here's the fun part, the part that we all love. Cuba, how can I save some motherfucking money? Well, first off, the sale starts from, I think, November 7th to like December 1st, which is insane. Most people give you a week. These motherfuckers are giving you like a whole month of Black Friday. So they're offering 25% off site-wide during that time frame. And with any purchase of a 75 ml or above, you get a 10 ml decant. Now, if you become a beast like me and just say, yo, me and Cuba align when it comes to fragrances, and you buy more than 3 fragrances, you get 30% off that purchase. So again, 25% off site-wide. If you get at least a 75 ml, you get a 10 ml decant. And if you buy 3 or more, you get 30% off. I never seen these discounted before, and we're talking about beautiful fragrances. Bare minimum, if you don't decide to buy like a full bottle and that's not your thing or it's not within your budget, I respect it 100%. Sample the brand and get to experience it so you can see what myself or maybe others who have experienced the brand are talking about, because these shits are no slouch. They're beautiful bottles. Even the small ones is mad cute, but the scents, G, the scents is where it's at, and they're so creative. And most importantly, within their catalog, there's at least one for everybody. Respectfully, all these joints are unisex, and for the ladies, all 5% of you who watch me, honestly, I like women who wear a bolder, deeper, rich fragrance. I think it's super sexy, and I can't front. You've heard me say it before, I'm a fan of the House of 𝗏. I love y'all mother suckers from the heart. I'll put links in the description if you guys are interested, or if you've been curious to check out whether it be Cosmos, Espiritu, Infinite Oud, or the monster summertime banger Casablanca. I think now is the perfect time because you don't gotta pay fucking retail. I love y'all mother suckers from the heart. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all bitches next time. You know who it is, biggest in the game. Also, let me know if you like this background, if you want certain things to change. I'm trying out different scenarios so y'all don't get bored. You're welcome. Smooches.
Fly gun holder, money folder, motor roller, start tag when it's time to call back. For the rough, rugged, and raw way, this nigga Jay, it's a game, but he don't play. Hey, for all the chicks that got dead in the penthouse suite on top of my mom's crib.